and welcome to Wednesday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic with a very mischievously named puzzle today by Antiknight called Nabnerfel. I think it should have been called Nabnerfel myself, but anyway, it's called Nabnerfel. Clearly, I think, a reference to one of the greatest Sudoku constructors of all time, Fistamafel, of course, famed for the Fistamafel ring, this theorem in Sudoku that says that these cells in any Sudoku grid are the exact same cells or exact same digits that you find in the four corners. So there are 16 green cells there, there are 16 purples, and they have to be exactly the same digits. If you've never seen that before, you can find any Sudoku you like, correctly complete it, and then tick them off, and you'll find it's true. Anyway, Antiknight has named this puzzle after Fistamafel, but called it Nabnerfel. And apparently this is wonderful, absolutely wonderful. So I'm looking forward to having a go at it. It's just got these square Nabner lines. Don't worry if you don't know what Nabner lines are. I'll explain all when we do the instructions in the corners. And yeah, we've had a lot of recommendations to try this one. And Antiknight himself says that this is quite a good puzzle. So I think we're in for a treat. And let's read the rules together in a moment or two's time. What can I tell you about on this relatively warm Wednesday before we kick off? Just to mention a few things. Loads and loads of you have been watching our Blueprint stream from Monday night. And I think, judging by the comments, I think you are enjoying it. It really was something. It's so something that I'm really looking forward to next Monday already. Yeah, check that out if you have been following the series on Blueprints and yeah, you didn't manage to catch Monday nights live, then it is worth watching, I do think. Now, also, we are closing in on 700,000 subscribers. And I tried to get a live counter. I don't know if it's working on the screen to try and see how close we're getting. So is it 697,626? I can see on OBS it's saying at the moment. So that might change. It might go down. You never know. But hopefully it'll go up during the course of the video. Anyway, anything you can do to get us to that milestone, we'd really appreciate it. We're so close now. Yeah, wouldn't it be something? Little old Cracking the Cryptic got to 700,000 subscribers. Good grief. What else can I mention? Let me just say that over on Patreon, we've got this it is very popular Sudoku hunt. It's themed on alien invasions, but it's got a lot of counting circles puzzles. So I really think you might enjoy it. Let's see what the numbers are up to. Let's refresh this. So we're now way over 800. Look, 831 is the smallest number I'm seeing of solves of all the puzzles, basically. Really, really well done to all those of you who've managed to tackle them all. That's phenomenal work. You've still got 3 days left. That's more than enough. Many of these puzzles, they won't take you very long. Some of them will take you a little bit longer, but it's very, very achievable. There's a chance, obviously, to be, to win the competition, which closes on the 20th, and it closes at midnight somewhere in the world on the 20th. So you've still got a bit of time and chance to come onto the channel and solve a puzzle. So if that might appeal, do get involved. What else? Oh, birthdays. Now, I have got some birthdays to do. Let me look at my list. I'm going to start off with a birthday that I had a very funny birthday message, which I received yesterday from Tom. And I'm just going to read it to you because it made me laugh. It says, "Dear Simon, dear Mark, I'm sending this email to you in an ultimate birthday shout-out emergency situation. My partner Anya from Gelsenkirchen, Germany, turned 50 yesterday after being 29 years old for 20 years in a row. I was supposed to ask for a birthday shout-out, as I did last year, but English not being my first language and the urge to write something witty led to a profound writer's block. Unfortunately, Anya was not happy at all, and instead of feeling sorry for my miserable situation, she decided to not talk to me anymore. Instead, she was talking to you, Simon, on YouTube. What a Holzkopf. Don't know the proper translation, but it is not very friendly. I was. She did that in a very loud and rude manner, so that I wasn't able to follow your solution anymore. Now I'm kindly asking you if you could wish her a belated happy birthday. Then she wouldn't have to talk to YouTube videos anymore, and I could watch your solutions undisturbed, and peace would be restored. Thank you very much in advance. That's from Tom. Tom, I'm not sure how much of that I was supposed to read out, probably none of it, but it did make me laugh, and I have to say, I thought that was very, very witty. So if that was the cause of your writer's block, you've got nothing to worry about. The writer's block is over. And Anya, I'm sorry I didn't wish you a birthday or happy birthday on Monday, which I think was the correct day, but many happy returns. I hope Tom at least got you some chocolate cake, and it was very heavily iced. Other birthdays. Christoph, your friend, is it Michael, or is it Mikhail, or is it actually Michał? It's a Polish name, and I'm not sure, and I could be saying Krzysztof wrong as well. But I'm doing my best with this. But the both of you are chemistry students over there in Poland, and I'm going to go for Michał actually. Michał said basically, you've been an incredible friend and a huge help to him. And he wanted me to mention, is it possible for you to have a champignon cake today? Champignon mushrooms. You can't have those in cake. You just can't. That's a concept so radical, I can't get my head around it at all. But anyway, Krzysztof, I hope you have a great birthday today. Many, many happy returns, and good luck to the both of you with your chemistry studies. And then, finally, last but not least, over there in Houston, Texas, Michael, it is your birthday today, and I know this because your girlfriend Lynn wrote to me and said that you enjoy watching the videos, especially when I miss the obvious, which I am prone to do. Most videos you will find many examples of that, and I apologise for that. But Michael, I hope you have a great birthday today. Many, many happy returns. And yeah, they are all the snippets of news that I have for you. So shall we have a go at Nabnerfel by Antiknight and see what we have to do to finish the puzzle? So we've got normal Sudoku rules applying. So we're going to put the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column. Oh, misclicked, lost my army. And every 3 by 3 box. Delighted to see, by the way, that they're going to patch StarCraft 2. They aren't deleting Protoss, which I'm not delighted about, but hopefully modifying the enormous imbalance in the races at the moment. Anyway, I digress. Let's move on. The digits along each arrow must sum to the digit in the circled cell. So if this was a 1, this was a 2, and this was a 3, we would say 1 plus 2 plus 3 equals 6, and write 6 into the circle. That is how arrows work. Antiknight's puzzles always confuse me because I always assume they're going to have an Antiknight constraint in them, but there isn't one here. No Antiknight constraints. Digits on each golden line are non-consecutive. So I think that means that, say for example we put 2 on this line, then you couldn't put 1 or 3 on it anywhere. It's not just that this cell couldn't be 1 or 3, you just can't put 1 or 3 on there. So if you could put 4 on, then you couldn't put 5. If you put 7 on, then you couldn't put 6 or 8. So I think this might be a valid way of filling the line. 2, 4, 7, 9. That's a possible Nabner line construction. A white dot between 2 cells indicates that the digits are consecutive. Not all such dots are shown. Okay, so let's look at this one. So if this was 2, this would either be 3 or 1. And it's perfectly possible, that final line of the rules is saying it's perfectly possible for this to be a 2-1 pair. There doesn't have to be a white dot between consecutive numbers. It's just in certain dominoes, we know that the digits are consecutive. And they are marked. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. But now, I get to play let's get cracking. I mean, the title makes me think we are going to have to prove ZETAMATH'S. But maybe before we jump into that, let's think about 3-cell arrows, because we have got a plethora of those circling that middle box there. A 3-cell arrow, we saw this in the example I did. The minimum it could be is 1, 2, and 3, which means each of these circles is at least equal to 6. So let's put that in. Okay. Don't know what that means. Not spotting anything. I think it's going to be something to do with restrictions to do with these corners, though, and the effect they have on the arrow. So I will just trot through the proof of Nabnerfel or Nabnerfel. So how do you prove that this ring is the exact same digits as the 16 digits in the corner? The way you do that is with a bit of something called set theory. And I was lucky enough actually to do this on Numberphile with Brady Harron a couple of years ago. But the proof is, what's the best way of doing the proof? I can never remember it. But I think this is the way we're going to do it. We are going to say that I'm going to highlight some cells in, actually I'll highlight those in green. Yeah, this will work. Right, so we'll highlight those cells in green. And what we need to understand is that although we've got no idea where the 1s are in these green cells, and where the 2s are, etc., where the 9s are, we do know exactly what the total constitution of the green set of digits is. Because what I've highlighted in green there is the entirety of row 7, the entirety of row 3, the entirety of box 4, and the entirety of box 6. So I've highlighted 4 complete Sudoku units, if you like. 1 row, 2 rows, and 1 box, and another box. And we know each of those things contains the digits 1 to 9 once each, don't we? So we know that green overall must have 4-digit 1s, 4-digit 2s, 4-digit 3s, all the way through to 4-digit 9s. Now, in purple, I'm going to highlight some different cells. I'm going to highlight 4 columns of the grid. So the whole of column 1, whole of column 2, whole of column 8, the whole of column 9. And we can say that the total constitution of purple is actually exactly the same, therefore, as the total constitution of green, because there's going to be 4-digit 1s in purple, because there'll be a 1 in every column I've highlighted. 4-digit 2s all the way through to 4-digit 9s. So the purple set of digits and the green set of digits are absolutely identical. And this is what we have to get our head around, is now I'm going to propose that we change the sets slightly. I'm going to remove this cell from purple and green. Now, if we do that, what can we say about what remains in purple and what remains in green? We know that before I removed this cell's contents, or this cell, from the purple set and the green set, they were identical. And I've just removed the same thing from both of them. So they must still be identical, mustn't they? And we can do that for every cell that has 2 colours in it. And if we do that, we end up with this position, and the green cells must be absolutely identical to the purple cells. Now, having said that, having proved ZETAMATH'S, we now have to do the thinking. So why does this matter? We have got 4 cells, unfortunately, that aren't on arrows. And an arrow right, okay, so an arrow has to have 2 low digits on it, doesn't it? What do I mean by that? I'm not actually sure this does anything, but let me just explain that point. If a Sudoku arrow like this, which has to contain 3 different digits, only had 1 of the low digits on it, only had 1 of the digits 1, 2, and 3, then it would have to have 2 digits that were higher than any of the digits 1, 2, and 3. So let's make those 4 and 5, which is the lowest they could be. Add 1 low digit to that, which is 1. And you can see 4 plus 5 plus 1 is 10, which would require writing 10 into that cell. I can't do that. So I do need on each of these arrows to have at least 2 low digits. Now, so on, yeah, that's, oh, this is weird. I'm having difficulty articulating what I feel that means. I feel that means okay, maybe we do it as a total bundle then. So what I'm now claiming, and I think it's true, is that those cells there in the green ring must contain a minimum of 8 low digits. So 8 of the digits 1, 2, and 3. Now, yeah, this is very interesting. Now, what that means is I want to then ask a different question. How many low digits is it possible to include on any one of these Nabner lines? And I think you can't include more than 2. Because if you include 1 and 3, that would work. They aren't consecutive. But actually, if you include 2 at all, it won't work. If you include 2, you couldn't include 1 or 3 at all. You could only put 1 low digit on any one Nabner. Okay, but this is weird, but I think this means something. So, yeah, so what we're saying is that any one Nabner can't contain more than 2 low digits, and yet there are definitely 8 low digits, at least, that have to be allocated to the Nabners. So there must only be 8 low digits, therefore, in the ring. And we're going to allocate 2 to each Nabner. And we know we can't, if a Nabner has 2 low digits on it, 2 of the digits 1, 2, and 3, 2 can never be one of them, because then you couldn't put the other one on because it would be consecutive with it. So every single Nabner this is absolutely beautiful, actually. Every single Nabner has the digits 1 and 3 on it, and every single arrow has the digits 1 and 3 on it. I absolutely love that. So no. No, that's not true. Oh, so there are no 2s then on any of these arrows. So none of these are 6, because that would require, obviously, just to recapitulate, if I did put 2 on any arrow, I've got to put 2 into one of the corner boxes because it's the same digits. And the moment I do that, that Nabner I put the 2 on will be on a line with a 1 and a 3 and will be utterly broken. But okay, so now actually these are all high. When I say high, I mean they already look quite high. None of them are 7 either, are they? Because if I was to put 4, hang on, they can't be. Hang on, I'm going mad. I've just proved, in fact, in my brain, I've just proved they can't be 8. I think they're all 9. Right. Yeah, this is lovely. This is absolutely lovely. Right. None of them could be 7, because 7, the only way of making 3-digit sum to 7 is 1, 2, 4, and each arrow has a 3 on it. So that was available immediately. I just didn't see it, or wasn't thinking about it clearly. But could 8 be a total for any of these Nabners? No, because if any individual, any arrow, I should have said, if this was 8, if it's summed to 8, what would it be? It would be 1, 3, 4. It's the only way it could, because it definitely has 1 and 3 on it. So it would have to be 1, 3, 4. But that would again require 4 now to be allocated to one of these 4 Nabners round the edge, where it would have a 3 on its Nabner as well, which is against the rules. So no 4 can exist in any of these, and you can't add more than a 5 to any of these arrows because they'll add up to a double-digit number. If this was 1, 3, 6, that would add up to 10. So they're all the same. They're all the same. They're all 1, 3, 5, adding up to 9. That's one of the most lovely ideas I've seen in a while, Antiknight. So now, all of the Nabners have 5 on because there are 4 5s to allocate. So 6 cannot be played. 6 can't be in the ring because that would put a 6 onto any one of these Nabners, all of which have 5 on, and break it. So these, they're not 9, actually, none of those. So I was going to say these digits are 7, 8, or 9 because everything else has been ruled out, but they can't be 9 because of the 9s looking at these cells. So these cells are 7s and 8s, and they're 2 of each, aren't they? Because whatever this is, if this was 8, both of those would be made 7, and that would be made 8. So those 2 are the same, and these 2 are the same. And we've got a sort of festival of colouring going on. And then the Nabners are that they've all got 1, 3, 5. 2 of them have got 7, and 2 of them have got 8 on. Now, I'm just actually realising how symmetrical this grid is. If you look at, yeah, that's fascinating again. So imagine there were no white dots in this puzzle for a moment, and imagine you just turned the grid round 90 degrees. It would look exactly the same. Nothing would change at all. Even these perimeter arrows would just map to the other perimeter arrows. So the grid is completely rotationally symmetric other than the dots, of which there are a lot. Hang on a minute. 9 can never go on an arrow. So in this box, this box, this box, and this box, 9 is very restricted. And we shouldn't be surprised, but because of that logic, that we could repeat it, doing a 90-degree turn each time, because of the symmetry we've just observed. That's even, and that's even, because these 3 digits are odd, and these white dots mean those are consecutive with those odd digits. So they are, yeah, look at that. That's a 2, 4, 6 triple. Because we've got to have an even digit that's consecutive with 1, 3, and 5. So they are 2, 4, and 6. And this digit is odd again, but that could be 7, 1, 3, 5, or 7. If this went 5, 6, 7, that would be possible. And this is 2, 4, 6. And bobbins, I don't see what to do. Let me just stare at this for a moment. I don't think. I mean, I can see this Nabner has got the indigo digit on it because it doesn't have the red digit. And the same is true there. So the indigo digits go in these cells and the red digits go in those cells. And in every 2, 4, 6, right, we've got 2, 4, and 6 even digits into there. Same again here, same again there. By symmetry, we can sort of do that. So we've got loads of even digits into those cells. Which means, okay, so it means this is odd. This is odd. just by the dot there. Okay, I will pencil mark that just in case that's a sensible thing to do. Don't have any similar dots in other places though. No, that doesn't work. Yeah, I mean that cell's interesting. That's 2, 4, 6, and that's sort of windmilling round the grid. Because whatever this is, let's I'm really exploring my colour palette here. That digit, it's going to have to go there in box 9, there in box 3, and there in box 1. And no, sorry, I don't know what that means. It probably does mean something, but I don't know what it is. Those two digits have got the same parity, which is almost fascinating given how many odd digits there are there. We know that because we're adding an even digit to this one. So imagine this was odd. It would just stay, the sum would stay odd. In fact, so that would make that 7, 9, wouldn't it? If this is odd, because it can't be 1, 3, 5, it would have to be 7, because this would have to be bigger than it. So that would be a 2 in that situation. And if this is even, that would be even as well, obviously, but then there's probably less pressure. Although we would need, yeah, that would be 8. That's going to be that, right? That's lovely. That is lovely, right? So there is parity. There's parity going on here. This domino and presumably other dominoes. It must be the same. It must be the same logic. Because I haven't used the dot to figure this out. I've just done parity on those digits, and all of these arrows in the perimeter, they all end in an even digit. So this parity point is relevant to all of them because they all see 1, 3, 5 in their boxes. Yeah. So if this digit's odd, this has to be odd, but we haven't got 1, 3, and 5 available. So the only two odd digits left are 7 and 9, and we can't put the 7 here and the 9 there because this can't be -2. So it's going to be 7, 9 if these are odd. If these are even, then there are 4 even digits in Sudoku. Those are the digits 2, 4, 6, and 8. Now, we've got 2 evens there, so these would have to include an 8, and the 8 would obviously have to be the biggest one. So it would be 8, and that couldn't be 4 then. So it would be a 2, 6 pair. Hang on. Are we saying this digit is never 4? I think we are. I think we're saying this is never able to be 4. It's either 2 in the event that these are odd, or it's part of a 2, 6 pair in the event that adding up to 8 in the event that these two are even. And that logic can be copied around the grid. So we've got an 8, 9, 8, 9, 8, 9, 2, 6, 7, 2, 6, 7, 2, 6, 7, and none of these end digits, look, can be 4. And that's giving us 8, 9 pairs in row 5 and column 5. Now, what does that do? I'm sure that does something. Who was it? Was it Michael? Michael likes to shout at me when I miss obvious things. Michael, I bet you're shouting at me, aren't you? No. Oh, I thought I'd seen something, but no, I haven't. Right, okay. So one thing we can say here, is where are the odd digits in this column here? Because we've got to put, well, especially 1, 3, and 5. Where are they? That cannot be a 1, 3, or a 5 because it sees this triple. This can't be a 1, 3, or a 5. So that one is, and that middle digit is also a 1, 3, or a 5. So now I've got a 1, 3, 5 triple in that row. Sorry, that column. A 1, 3, 5 triple in that row. And that means I don't know what that means. It means 7 is restricted in this column. Or, oh no, I thought maybe it was, oh, is this odd? That would be it. That would be fantastic. That might be it. Yeah, there's parity going on in this box. What do I mean by that? Well, I've got a 2, 4, 6 triple here, so all those digits are definitely even. And this digit sees 8 because there's an 8, 9 pair in the row, so that digit is indisputably odd. Now so we actually know it, it's sort of a naked single. It sees 1, 3, 5, and 9, so that is a 7. Which means this is now, I've now got a 1, 3, 5 triple in column 4 and row 4. This digit is not 7. Right, that's good. That's good. That's very good. Because that being even means this is even. So this is an 8. And that's the first time we've sort of broken the symmetry, isn't it? Because now for this to be a 9, that has to be a 7. And now by Sudoku, that's a 7. So these are not 7. It doesn't mean these can't be 6s, because they could be with a 5 beneath them. That's got to be a 2. Because 9 plus 7, 7 plus 2 equals 9 is a much more precise way of saying that. So our orange digit is now not 2. So that's always 4 or 6, which means this digit is not a 1. This digit is not a 1. There's a 2, 6 looking at that one. The orange digit is 4. So we can do all of those. Let's fill those in. So this digit's not a 4. This digit is a 6 now. Which might be important. If that's a 6, 6 in box 2 has to go there. Now this is lovely. It's sort of working this. So we get a 6, 2 unwound here and a 2 there. Now, so 6 is placed. I've got a 6 here, 6 here. So 6 can be placed here in box 8. This is no longer a 6. It doesn't mean this can't be a 5, but 6 is in one of those two cells, which means 5 is in one of those two, doesn't it? By the consecutive nature of the dots, which means the middle digit is now not a 5. And these digits include, that's simple. Where's 9 in the bottom row? It's only got one place to go. So 9 is placed in box 5, which means 9 is placed in box 4. This is unbelievable. Now this has to be even, so that's 2, 6, which means this has to be odd, so that's 7, which we know means that's 2, which makes that 6. Now, this digit is known, that's a 4. So the bottom rows are really nearly done. This is a 4, so that digit's 3 or 5 by consecutiveness, as is this one. I don't know if they're the same, but they might be. This row has to have a 6 in it. Where are we going to put that? Because we can't put it there. Nothing else seems to be able to be 6. So that's 6, that's 2, that's 2, that's 6. This digit is now 5. Look, by the dot. No, be careful. That's not true. Ooh, very nearly an error. Because why couldn't that be 7? Oh, it actually can't be 7. No, there is a good reason it can't be 7, and there's a 7 there. But that is a 5 then. So this is a 3. I think I'm going to get rid of my corner marks in these boxes because I don't trust them anymore. That's a 3 by dottage. We know there's a 1 in one of these. That's definitely true, but we don't know whether it's 7 or 8. We know it's a red digit that's joining that conglomeration. This row, this digit is 2 or 4. Oh, that's definitely not a 9. That definitely is a 9. So these digits are definitely 4 and 7. Which that feels like it should be resolved, doesn't it? But I don't see how to do it. I just need... I don't know how these 7s and 8s are going to get done. I'm sure they will get done somehow, I just don't know. And these are 1, 7 or 8, so maybe we've just got to pencil mark it and something will become apparent. Don't think it has, though. In this column, I need 1s, 3s and 7s. And in this column, what is it? Is it 5? 1, 5 and 8. This can't be 7 in the corner. So these are from 1, 3, 5, 8. That can't be 3. This one seems to be able to be anything. Where is 6? That's a very reasonable question. Where's 6 in box 4? It's got to be there, which means this isn't 6, which means this is 6, which means this is 5, which means this isn't 5, this isn't 5, this isn't 5. How many 6s have we got? The answer is very, very many of them. And these digits are 2, 4 and 8, aren't they, in some order? 2, 4, 8. This isn't 2. Oh, the 6. That's important. Look, that 6 is making this a 5. So we get double 5 here. So that's a 5. This is not a 5. This is not a 5. The 7 over here makes this a 4. This is 7. So this isn't 4. In this row, this digit is... Oh, I thought I was going to do it. Oh, no, it does sort of. Yeah, by row logic, this digit is 2 or 8. But it sees a 2, 4 pair, so that's got to be 8. And this digit's meant to be 1 or 3 by box logic in the middle box. There's a 1, 3 pair in column 6, and this digit is 2 or 4. Oh, we must know what these are. 2, 4 and 8, aren't they? So the 8 goes in. We're just going to need some help from the dots to figure this out, I think. Maybe that dot. There are really very few dots left. Okay, in this row, we need 1s, 5s and 7s. That is not a 7. I mean, this is 1 or 8. That would be good. Yeah, this is very important. Somehow, this box down here, box 7, can't have an 8 in it by Sudoku, because I've definitely got an 8 in one of those 3. And I've definitely got an 8 here. So this becomes a 1. So that has to be 1, 5, 7. And now red is 8, which means indigo is 7, which does lots of things that are very, very important. Oh, yeah, that's a 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the spotlight, losing its religion. So this one over here should be 1, 3, 5, 8. And the 8 can be placed, actually, because that can't be 8. Must be an 8 actually in the corner of the puzzle. And this is a 5. And therefore that's a 5. And that's a 1. This is a 1, 3 pair. We can fill them in. And hopefully... there's just going to be some dottage that's going... Oh, that's a 2. That's good. That's good. So that's very important dottage, because that must be a 3 now. So this is a 1. 1, 3. 1, 3. This next to the 2, we're going to need a 3. This is stunning. It's just stunning. And we are there, aren't we? I think we are. Wow. What a puzzle that is. That is total and utter genius. Antiknight, that is a phenomenal puzzle. I really, really hope people have a go at that and appreciate how the setting involved in that is artistry. That's the best way of describing it. It's absolutely beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Worthy of a Nabnerfel YouTube video. That's what I say. Phenomenal. Loved it. Do let me know in the comments how you got on with the puzzle. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind, especially when they give Antiknight all sorts of plaudits for setting what I think is something absolutely lovely. It's lovely. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.